Day hunt speedrun of the resources. We're going to start with our big picture goal. We're going to do why food insecurity, and then we're going to dive into the resources. We've got 10 minutes to do this, and I think we can accomplish our goals. Let's go. All right, big picture goal. Why are we doing this? We believe that by sharing community health data and raising awareness of the availability of publicly available data, and hopefully increasing numeracy along the way, then data will be more likely to join the national conversation, to be present on social media, to be present in the inboxes of policymakers. We really believe in data advocacy. And we believe that advocating for health through the use of data will ultimately lead to evidence-based policies that promote health. We strongly believe in this. That is our big picture goal. And we're hoping in the end, it'll cascade into a healthier nation for all. This is a hope that we have, a vision that we have. And why have we chosen the topic of food insecurity? So food insecurity is what it can be considered as an upstream health indicator. There is a high level of evidence currently that food insecurity is associated with downstream health outcomes like food patterns, diets, and also really long-term outcomes like depression, anxiety, diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular disease. All of those cascade towards preventable causes of premature mortality, which is why we're interested in it. The Congressional Health District Dashboard does a great job of explaining why food insecurity is so important, and that's a resource for that. Another great resource that outlines how food insecurity is a social determinant of health is the County Health Rankings and Roadmaps. They have a logic model where power, societal rules, like policies, cascade into the environments around us, our social and economic factors, the physical environment, the built environment, and the health infrastructure that we have around us, like clinical care and health behaviors. All of that cascades down into a long and healthy life, or a life that is a little bit shorter because of a non-optimized environment and policy environment. Data hunt. So let's talk about the ecosystem of publicly available data here in the United States. So the way that the data essentially works is there's groups that generate the data, and there's also groups that curate the data. So for those that generate or collect the data, either through a survey or through a built environment assessment or something like that, we've got the sources of data here. You also have curators of data. A lot of times they have curated really careful indicator lists, County Health Rankings and Congressional Health District Dashboard through the University of Wisconsin and NYU Langone, respectively. They have really tightly curated an indicator list of things that are associated with downstream health outcomes. The CARES Map Room is probably hands down one of the best sources of curated data. Not curated data, it's all of the data. It's all of the data. Whenever I'm doing a data hunt, I actually always start with the CARES Map Room. But these curators, what they're doing is they're collecting data from all of these other sources. So the sources of data feed into the curations. American Community Survey, let's actually start there. A lot of you have used data.census.gov. Few of you have used Map Meal Gap. So let's dive in. Let's do a speed run. All right, American Community Survey. We're actually going to be using this indicator today on Census Reporter. Census Reporter is a download of the American Community Survey. They download it every year. It's a really amazing and rich source of data. It shows you how the American Community Survey, conducted by the US Census Bureau, organizes their data tables, and then you can get tons of data for your community. So if I just wanted to say Milwaukee, for instance, then I can choose Milwaukee, either the county or the place, the city, and then get totals. This is the tip of the iceberg. Census Reporter has really amazing data sets. I really hope you do take the time to explore this. They've got these amazing community profiles. All right, next one. Map the Meal Gap. Map the Meal Gap in Feeding America is a very well done dashboard, thinking very carefully about where the gap is in the funding for food benefits programs and the receipt of food benefits programs. So where's the need high and maybe not being met? So you can zoom into a single state. You can then zoom into a county and also possibly a city as well. And they'll give you the food insecurity rate overall. And then they'll tell you where there might be a gap in funding, including the budget shortfall as well. So they've really carefully curated this. And if you're ever talking to an elected official, it's designed for that purpose. It's designed for that purpose to advocate for funding. They've done a very nice job of thinking really carefully about what tools and resources are needed to enhance funding in communities. You can do it by congressional district. You can do it by different races and ethnicities and different ages as well. So a very rich data source. Okay, next one. Not the Mill Gap, the Places Project. The Places Project is a small area estimates program of the behavioral risk factor surveillance system, and it has a ton of really cool indicators at very, very small geographies. And so right now I'm actually going to go to health-related needs. I'm going to go, okay. Then you have food stamps here. This is self-reported food stamps, and then food insecurity as well. So you can see that not all states participate in this part of the behavioral risk factor surveillance system. So they're not able to do small area estimates in some states. But if I were to zoom in, and I really zoom in, the further I zoom in, the more detailed the map becomes. And I can do the overall estimates for Milwaukee, but I can also see the data by census tract. This is a very, very small geography that splits up counties as census tract does. So like, look how detailed that is. If I was wondering where to put resources, I'll tell you what, this helps a lot. This helps a lot. All right, thank you, Places Project. All right, school lunch program. The school lunch program by the National Center of Education Statistics, Common Core of Data. This is, sometimes you'll see how many children in a community are eligible for free and reduced lunch. They have a really amazing data set for download, but actually I think the best way to visualize their data is in the CARES map room. So hang on tight to that one. We'll look at it in the CARES map room. All right, the Food Access Research Atlas published by the United States Department of Health and Agriculture is available. This was not working for me earlier, so I'm just going to click on it and hope it loads. Nope, but that's okay. A lot of the data that is published here is, if it works for anyone, let me know. A lot of the data that are published here are also available in the CARES map room. I've mentioned the CARES map room a couple times now. Let's dive into that. The CARES map room is probably the most underappreciated, most kick-ass source of data on the entire internet. And it is through the University of Missouri Extension Program. They have a group that specializes in mapping. And honestly, if I'm starting a data hunt, this is where I start. Hands down where I start. Even before I go to Google, I will go here. So the CARES map room, you can see that you can browse by topic. Look at all of these topics. They have curated this over years and years and years. And so they actually have, so if I can find food, they actually have data on a ton of stuff. Food, access locations. They have it over time, which is really unusual for dashboards to have it over time. Usually they simply showcase the most recent one. And look at all of this. So the USDA data that I was talking about is curated here. And you can put it on the map. You can put lots of other things on the map. You can do tons of stuff. And they also provide very, very small geographies at the census tract level. Now, in order to see this, I need to go to the legend. And then I can start to see it. I can zoom in. Snap authorized retailer. So I can adjust the opacity here. This is just an amazing, amazing resource. It's the best collection of data I've ever seen. Totally underappreciated. I think only one of you has said, I think that one person was me when I filled out this survey. Please use the CARES map room. It is awesome. All right, and they also have information on each of their indicators. So if you want to go to the original source, you can. They'll list the original source, then a hyperlink to it, and a little bit more information about the background. All right, now it is common for publicly available data to have delayed release years. That's completely normal. We assume that things don't change so dramatically or so fast that something from 2 years ago is no longer valid. So just know that for publicly available data. Boom, CARES map room. Many of you have used the county health rankings and roadmaps before. Amazing data sets, but don't forget that they also have what works for health as well. Because so many of you have used it before, I'm going to skip over that one. I'm going to go to the Congressional Health District dashboard. This one is really, really awesome if you're talking to somebody from the House of Representatives in DC. And the reason why I really like this is because they've carefully curated, similar to the county health rankings, a map of different indicators and then calculated them at the congressional district level. So a very, very cool resource, very beautiful. You can see it's not available for all states because guess what? This is the data curator and they're using the places data set for this. Let's make sure that that's true. Yep, source places project. Remember, this is a curator of the data. They're bringing in data from those original data sources. All right. If you have additional resources, we recognize there's a lot of experts here in the room. Please feel free to add it as a comment here. Please feel free to share them here. You can even share them in the Zoom chat as well. Happy to always share resources, whether they're a curator or whether they're a collection of data. Feel free to share those. All right, and that's my time for the grab and go portion of this session. If you were just hoping to get a ton of resources, here they are.